Hello, hello, uh, hello, dear students. Am I audible? I think noon. I have joined the class exactly at 5 p.m. Uh, I waited for another 5 minutes, but I started the class exactly 5:10 at 5:10. But no one is joining till late. Only some Bija who joined and immediately left within a no second. So, dear students, uh, will in this today's class will be uh, will be reading about unit 11, 12, 13, and 14. uh, we have till it we have covered till Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the social and political thought of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. In today's class we shall be dealing with, will focus and highlight the social and political thought of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Baba Saheb Dr. B.R. Baba Saheb B.R. Baba Saheb Bhimji Rao Ambedkar, Rabindranath Tagore, Manavendranath Roy, and socialist. And since today, yeah, uh, am I audible? Hello, hello, am I audible? Anyone can respond. So we shall be dealing with today. I will start. Hello. Yeah. Uh, I was telling. I was discussing about the social and political thought of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Students, for your kind memory, for your reference, the contribution of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in the annals of political and social thought of India is rightly acclaimed as the maker of modern Indian political thought and society. And he was the chief architect of making of modern India. Pandit Nehru was both a philosopher and a practical political leader. His thought was titled uh, as uh, uh, the Renaissance thought in Indian political and social uh, thought. His thought was more inclined, tilted towards near communist thinking. He was influenced by the development of 19th century and 20th century global trends. Pandit Nehru, born in 1889, received his education in his hometown, Allahabad, later in Harvard and at Cambridge. He was influenced by his political ideas. Social philosophy was greatly influenced by British humanist liberation of John Stuart Mill, Gladstone, and Morley. Pandit Nehru was also influenced by George Bernard Shaw, his political outlook and his progressive thinking process, and political philosophy of Bertrand Russell too. Pandit Nehru was a great political philosopher of, though he was not participated with that of the European Western political thinkers like Thomas Hobbes, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Karl Marx, etc., and many European scholars and Western political thinkers and social thinkers. But Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was more a man of ideas, so also of action. Pandit Nehru was one of the indomitable fighters, indomitable fighters of Indian freedom struggle, led by Indian National Congress under the leadership of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Pandit Nehru believed in socialistic temper. He was more a scientific in his approach than a dogmatic in his spirit. Pandit Nehru's perception on science and religion, if you say, his scientific temper did not permit him to be dogmatic. He had no attraction towards any particular religion. He was over and above superstition, dogmatism, and fundamentalism. He was more scientific, and his approach was more for a scientific inquiry of the knowledge, epistemological system. In the words of a great political scientist or an author, great author, so to say, not scientist, a great political author, Professor V.P. Burma, Pandit Nehru to Burma, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was agnostic, materialist, and atheist. So if you describe, Pandit Nehru was much more a person with more inclination uh, and inclination and attachment to the scientific world than the worldly life. He believed in, strongly believed in the concept of secularism. To him, Pandit Nehru, secularism is basically the separation of religion from politics. Politics is associated with public activities. Religion is an individual affair. So Pandit Nehru strongly advocated denunciation of politics from religion, separation of politics from religion. And he did not take religion in a narrow sense. That does not mean he, by out and out, he was against religion. But he was in favor of religious unity. Every religion has to enjoy its own freedom, space to interact without any great vigor of tolerance and unity. Religion does not teach. To Pandit Nehru, religion should not teach hatred and intolerance. All religion to him speaks truth. He believed uh, religious equality in society, which he believed strongly could only promote peaceful and harmonious society. So to Pandit Nehru, religious tolerance and equality of religion can only be a solace for a peaceful and harmonious society. Permission and promotion. Nehru was a socialist. Uh, he disapproved both uh, so far as religious, you know, fundamentalism and religious bigotry is concerned. He he was against any religious communalism to prevail. At the same time, he was against and he disapproved of social communism. His belief in psychology with stress on rationalism helped him a lot in evolving his concept of nationalist political idea. Uh, Nehru advocated for scientific humanism. According to him, it combines both scientific determinism as well as spiritual dimension. Nehru believed in growing synthesis between humanism and scientific spirit. Uh, Nehru's concept of theory and culture. You see, he differed from the cultural nationalism, differed from many Indian scholars. The concept of the India's culture, his cultural, fabulous India's culture and tradition. He did not believe in India's structural cultural continuity and cultural. He opposed the cultural nationalism of Madhav Sadasiv Golwalkar and many Hindu thinkers. Instead, he advocated for a territorial nationalism, not based on the very regimental structural continuity. As a nationalist determinist, Pandit Nehru upholds physical, geological, geological, chemical, anthropological data for a scientific vigor and temper of interpreting the concept of India's uh, social and political progression. His concept of culture was not spiritual but material. Uh, his idea of nationalism, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was a great nationalist. His concept of nationalism believed in objectivity of fundamental unity of India, nurtured on its cultural foundation. Nehru's nationalism, Nehru's idea, concept of nationalism was based on patriotism and independence of the country. The idea of complete independence of the nation, the country. In 1928, he stated if India has a message to give as an independent country than as a member of the British group. That means he was out and out nationalist. He was against completely independence. He was in favor of complete independence from the clutches of the imperialist forces, British colonial governance. Nehru's idea, a concept of democracy, idea on democracy. Nehru was a great champion of democracy, as you know all. His democratic tradition and conviction, his democratic ideals are greatly influenced by the great European scholar and Western scholars, contractual philosophers, contractualists like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the father of French Revolution, the great inspirer of the French Revolution, fraternity and uh, liberty, freedom, and equality. Rousseau's concept of freedom and democracy has also influenced him a lot. Montesquieu and John Stuart Mill also influenced the democratic ideas and also ideas of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Nehru was also very much, concerned about individual freedom and equality. He strongly believes in individual freedom and equality. And the most, uh, you know, the centrality in its political thought and social philosophy is concept of his ideas on parliamentary democracy. To Pandit Nehru, parliamentary democracy supports cabinet form of executive that can accommodate each state and community in it. And he, he believed in that parliamentary democracy only could be the ultimate board of governance which can provide the best government. So he believed in parliamentary democracy, the uniqueness with the parliamentary democracy, and he advocated for parliamentary democracy. And Pandit Nehru's, scientific socialism and uh, democratic socialism, his ideas, and Pandit Nehru's concept of internationalism. He was also a great champion of the unity of global governance and the community of nations, and he was for a greater international emancipation and participation of the sovereign national actors and the global national actors for uh, and he was an internationalist also. His concept of internationalism was also for the unity of the nation states at the global forum, and he promoted unity. Students, this is the political philosophy of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, which we could also explain more great detail. If you have any query, any of you have any query on any of the aspects of Nehruvian political and social thought, thinking, so can be better clarified, and I'm here to respond to all your questions and queries. Yeah. Any question from your side on Pandit Nehru's social and political philosophy? because since it is a counseling class, we cannot go bit by bit each and every aspects of his thought. So it is now open for open to you. You can raise n number of questions and to be clarified by me. I am here to respond to your questions. You please raise your questions and ask me the questions, and I am here to clear your doubt.